Good evening. Welcome to Black Metal and Brews. It may not be evening where you are right now, or when you decide to watch this, but hopefully you're not starting your drinking for the day too early. Tonight we have some wonderful offerings from some wonderfully talented folks. We're going to be starting the night off with, and probably ending it with, a delicious classic Belgian beer, straight up from Belgium. We got a Belgian strong ale called Delirium Nocturnum. This is a pretty well-known, well-established, well-reputed beer. Well. If you haven't had it yet, this is your crash course. And if you have, let's share an old favorite together. Tonight, pairing with this, we'll be listening to the Depths of Night collection of early demo tapes from Nuit Noire, who is one of my favorite black metal bands, French black metal project, strong punk influence, post-punk as well, focused on the nighttime fairies, which sounds decidedly un-black metal, but the spirit of black metal has always been being true to yourself, rebelling against the norm, and if spooky Satanism and other cliched ideas are what black metal is, to some folks, this is rebelling directly in the face of that, and it's killer. So, without any further hubbub, let's get to experiencing this. This will take me just a second to open, so while I even open the beer, before I even do my pour, we'll put on some music for you guys to enjoy yourselves, and maybe for me too as well. Alright. So we're actually listening to the second of the two cassettes in this collection because it contains, I'm gonna get the name wrong, so I'm cheating here. It's got the demo, which we're listening to, Somewhere in the Night Past. Killer demo. Love it. Can't speak highly enough. This was released by Preposterous Creation last year. I got my copy from the Colloquial Sound Recordings distro. They may still have copies. If not, keep an eye out. I know Nuit Noire is always doing something new, too. They just put out a new, I believe it's a single-sided 10-inch or maybe 12-inch record on Prison Tat. Haven't heard it yet, but I can't say anything bad has ever come out from this artist, so chances are their new recording is amazing. Alright, got that delightful little lid off, and let's give this a pop. Alright, this will be fun. Gonna give that a second to settle down a bit. Alright. And you can see instantly we got nice thick foamy head here, really intense, dark, beautiful pour. Just looks like candy almost, like something you'd see. Maybe it's hot chocolate or something, I don't know. My inner child goes nuts over stuff like this at least, and luckily my external and very real adult self too. You can see the head's really just lingering here. I've got the kind of same color backdrop behind me, so we'll put this in front of me in my black shirt, so yeah, very intense. Smell is rich, a little bit of plum in there, caramel, a little bit of chocolatey smell. I've had many a bottle of this, but it's been quite a while, so approaching this with a fresh palate. And it's every bit as just complex and wonderful as I remember. It's relatively thin in body for something with such a substantial nose and head here. You can see it's gonna just continue to dissipate as slowly as it can here. Not surprisingly, the carbonation is also not overpowering, whereas you'd think it might be with this much froth going. I can tell it's probably going to be lingering in my mustache and beard by the end of this, but relatively gentle, smooth, nice little surprising hop and spice element to this too that you can't really smell or detect as much at first, but it really comes through nicely on the sip. It's interesting because it's got a little bitterness to it, but nothing off-putting. If anything, I've always felt that Belgian beers are a great go-to for people who say they don't like beer or are intimidated by the bitterness. Especially here on the West Coast, hops reign supreme, and I feel like a lot of newer drinkers are intimidated by the hops or by beers like Imperial Stouts and the like that I also hold dearly. Something like this, it's a little sweet, it's inviting, but it still tastes like a beer, whereas there are some beers that are much more welcoming that may not taste quite like another beer would. So, obviously you want something that'll be a good showcase. I feel like, especially given that this brewery's been around since 1800s, I know, if not before. I'm bad, I should know all this stuff. Yeah, since 1654, so I'm a couple hundred years late. This is quite literally timeless. You can never go wrong with a bottle of Delirium Nocturnum. There are other beers, Delirium Tremens, Delirium Noel, and you may have others. Those are the two others I've had. Can't speak highly enough about them. I've never been disappointed, and I felt that, especially with Nuit Noire, which is Black Night in French, having Delirium Nocturnum Nighttime Delirium, just perfect dark night chaos pairing. Two things that I love so much. I knew I'd be able to give a glowing review here. I'm just so happy to be having this and sharing this with you guys. I'm sure many of you saw my most recent post. If you haven't, I'll link to it in the YouTube thing here as well as on my website. I've recently overcome a bout of depression, or I'm in the process of overcoming. Depression it's not something that just comes and goes. It's in stages. It's in grayscale. I'm starting to feel more human again. I was away from my website for the better part of 3 weeks, almost a month it felt like, but it wasn't that long. In returning, I've been reconnecting with the things that matter most to me, the things that I love, that enrich my life. I felt that instead of picking something brand new and exciting, which as much as I love them, I really needed to revisit what I loved most. So I'm really happy to share this with you guys. I hope that you will get a bottle of this. It's relatively affordable, usually in the $10 to $15 price range, more on the 10 side though, hopefully for you. It was for me. Happy to share this excellent tape. This music's, a lot of these demos are from the late 90s, early 2000s, so I just felt this was a great way to come back with some classics. I'm glad to be back, glad to be working again, and, I've always had a job, but my website, working, glad to be sharing with you guys, and I hope that we can all raise a glass together soon. For now, signing off, much love, cheers.